There are two factors when it comes to this country, running the country. And see, that's what's important. Running the country is something that these people shouldn't do, the ones that we elect. In truth, they should be governing. We, the people, should be running the country. Those that we elect should be the ones doing what we need, not what we want, what we need. So if we need universal health care, they'll do what they can and cut what they can to get it done without going so low in cuts in other areas that it destroys it or makes or brings it to a low near breaking point for the people that need that money. That's what would happen if it's a non-profit country. I mean, you can profit in this country. It's cool to profit. That's cool. But when your profit is so high that others are sacrificed, that's the problem. Now, the issue here, as I was listening to the Benjamin Dixon show, they won't say what needs to be said. We have money in politics. Getting money out of politics does everything that we will need for the time being until they find other ways to blockade it. And so what that is if you get money out of politics, that means the pharmaceutical companies cannot by any means bribe or buy politicians. So politicians would go from, being political with big pharma to actually working for the people. They can't take the hundreds, $100 millions of dollars from big pharma and then they can say, what do the people need? They sure as hell not gonna, the pharmaceutical companies aren't gonna give me $100,000. So I have no need to subsidize them with taxpayer money, with taxpayer health. That's a very important thing to know. You need to know that. So if you get money out of politics, politicians can't take that big money from pharmaceutical companies, and we get rid of the politician in that area, and we get more of a governing body in that area. There's a difference. When you get money out of politics, oil companies can't pollute where they want to pollute. They can't drill where they want to drill. They can't run pipelines where they want to run, because money in politics dictates what these companies are allowed to do. And what these companies want to do is make the most amount of money, no matter how, especially, if it's not necessarily at your expense, it's more like your expense is the byproduct. They want to run the pipeline from one area to the other, and it just happens to go across some cornfields. It just happens to go across some rivers. It happens to go across a small or subterranean lake. It happens to go across a pond. It happens to go across a schoolyard or some mess like that. That's just it just happenstance. It just happens to run the best course for that pipeline. So what happens is when those things burst, and they always do, when they burst, then you're going to get the oil seeping into the ground. That's going to go low. That's going to go real low. It's going to get into subterranean rivers, lakes, streams, ponds, whatnot. It'll also run above ground if the land is too saturated with moisture already or too dry. And it's going to run off, and it may not, but it may find a pond, a lake, or something like that to seep into. And these are usually drinking water areas. So, you get money out of politics. The oil companies can't bribe, and then the government can't use taxpayers' money to subsidize billion-dollar oil companies. Oil companies make $15 billion usually a year, and yet the government, in general, the government, which is a political entity, not a governing entity, the government decides that they're going to use everyone's hardworking money to pay these oil companies hundreds of thousands to hundreds of millions of dollars on average. It's on actual average of $125 million. I don't know why they have to give it to the oil companies. I have no idea what's going on, but they give our money to the oil companies. And what suffers from us is usually less pay for teachers. You get less, possible oil jobs. The ability to get, green energy going is all but null. It's big oil companies keep the future of energy from happening. It keeps our water, our air, it keeps everything polluted. The coal companies, it's the same thing. A lot of people don't want coal. A lot of people aren't using coal. So why subsidize with our money these coal companies? Because the coal companies are their power, Duke Power and whatnot. Hey, this is a company. It's what they need. It's what they want. And they say, we'll give you this if you give us that. Deregulate everything and we're cool. And politicians, they say, all right, we'll deregulate it. We'll give you what you want. Getting money out of politics is a very needed thing. These people aren't corrupted by the money. They were already messed up in the head. They already had the mindset of you sell out high and you get to do all the things you want to do. If they're paying you these hundreds of thousands or hundreds of millions of dollars every 4 to 6 months or to a year, then you automatically get to live the high life. So they're going to work hard. They're going to call. They're going to beg and plead. Mitch McConnell not long ago apologized to the donors publicly. And that was a test because normally you don't do that. They would not allow a politician or anyone to do that, to say, we apologize. We tried to get this for our donors and they're going to be angry with us. What they would do is say, you have lost your mind. You are out of here. We're voting to get you out. But no, it's a test. He said it publicly and the people are not going to react despite TYT covering it very well and explaining it. No one's going to react properly to it. Mitch McConnell, I promise you, will be in for another term because everyone knows his name. And when everybody knows a politician's name, when they go vote, they look at that paper and what do? They say, okay, I know who that is. I don't like him. I don't know who that is. I don't know who, you know what? I know who this is. I don't like him. I know who it is, but I'm gonna vote for him. Maybe things will get better, or it just makes it easier on me to just not have to vote for someone I don't know or heard of. And I can just vote for the person I do know and then later be really pissed off that things are not getting better. It's a cycle. You got to break it. And me, people I didn't know, I didn't hear of, I voted for them. I didn't vote for the incumbent because if the incumbent was doing their job, things would get a little better somewhere. So the incumbent had to go. When you get money out of politics and everything is going well, just like they were in the 80s, yes, you get to keep your position. But money in politics, that's destroying us. Another case in point. You want marijuana, you want weed legalized. You have to get money out of politics because the pharmaceutical company, the coal company, the oil company, clothing companies too, everything, especially, like I said before, especially the pharmaceutical company, they lobby to make sure marijuana is illegal. Keep it illegal. Keep it a Schedule 1 drug. Make sure that no one can get their hands on it. Lock them up if you have to. Because if you legalize marijuana, when I was watching, As Told by Jesse Ventura or something, his show on RT America, what I learned was marijuana, the weed plant actually soaks up and absorbs lead out of the ground. Other toxins and chemicals, it absorbs it and takes it out, and you can then remove the plants and dispose of them in some way. I can't remember, but you can dispose of them in a much safer way than just letting it be in the water. And then people in Michigan and all over the country actually we found out has lead in water. So when all of your kids are acting, stupid, they don't want to listen. You got to tell them something 2 and 3 times, even though they're looking at you and they hear you, but they're like, don't care. You can blame this because when you deregulate the water company, you get lead in your water. You get other toxins in your water. When you get money out of politics, there's no incentive to allow these deregulations to continue. What you do create is a need for politicians to say, you know what? Now I could have safe drinking water, or I can get no extra money. That's what's going on. So without extra money, they say, hey, drinking water is fine, because politicians usually buy their water anyway. They just buy it right from the store and they believe it's safe while everyone else drinks from the tap because the tap is for poor people. That's what I heard growing up. So what happens is they realize, oh crap, I need to look into the studies, the research. Right now, they're just looking to their wallet. So getting money out of politics will most likely get you safer drinking water. It'll get you, legalized, federally legalized weed, and that will kill off a lot of the opioid, the heroin dealings that the doctors do, that the companies pretty much pay them to do. The idea is to prescribe you these opioids so that you get addicted and you keep going back and back and back. Doctors are the biggest drug pushers on the planet. I don't think there's a street corner guy or girl that can possibly match a doctor, because you go to the street corner guy for free, you get the drugs for I don't know, man. I said what, the $20, $35? I don't know, but I'm sure it's not what it is for a doctor. I mean, you go to a doctor, you're going to see the doctor. That's going to cost $400 alone. And then you're going to get the prescription. That could be in excess of 10, 20, 30, and in some places, $1,500 a pill. As Benjamin Dixon was talking about this lady that he pretty much looked up to like a role model, how her pill cost $1,500 and she just could not afford it. She couldn't do it anymore. And she stopped taking the pill. And 2 weeks later, she died. She didn't have the finance to live. That's a shining example of what's going on in the country. Don't you remember during Bush time, when the housing market had crashed and they were foreclosing on homes? They really got people to buy into that. And so this elderly woman who's had this home in her family for a couple of generations. I mean, it's been in there, for about 100 some years, about, 2.5 generations, but she was the last one living in it. They was going to take it from her. And she killed herself. It was going to happen to another one, and she was going to kill herself, but they talked her out of it, and people helped her keep the home. So this stuff is real. You get money out of politics. When you get all the money out of politics and stuff, you sort of get racism off the streets. Cops aren't going to kill black people just because they're black. They're going to actually think about it first. The cops are going to kill white teenagers or anyone or deaf people. Follow my commands or I shoot you. You're not a threat to me. You're not doing anything, but you're not listening to my commands. I have to kill you. Or if a woman's on the side of the road and she's walking and, probably cursing up a storm and mad at people or something, cop gets out, walks her down, tackles her, starts beating her in the face and in the back of the head. At least she won the settlement, millions of dollars, but that shouldn't have happened in the first place. But like I say, when it comes to cops, look at the cars. And I challenge you to serve and protect, or protect and serve. Find protect. Find serve. Find and. You're not going to find it on the cop cars these days. It's not going to happen. Getting money out of politics is the shining need to get a governing body back and not these political terrorists. Because that's all they are. Oh, of course you want better military, so you have to cut everything from everybody else. And they're going to push the propaganda to blame the minorities or the poor. That's it. So that covers all the Mexicans, white people, black people, Asians, Muslims. It's going to cover everyone except those that are making roughly $100,000 or more. The upper class. That's who is okay in this country. So look, that was the whole thing. Get money out of politics, get our governing bodies back, get these political terrorists out, and that's all I can say. Well, no, I could say more, but I'm running at about 15, almost 16 minutes now. So after editing, maybe I'll get it down to 14. It's Sedrik Cannady for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.